Welcome to the 3Gen podcast. We are 3 generations of
life,
love,
and legacy.
and we're hoping to foster meaningful conversations that bridge generational gaps, sharing diverse perspectives and experiences to promote understanding, empathy, and connections across different age groups.
We are 3 generations of life,
love,
and legacy.
Welcome back to the 3Gen podcast. We're so glad you decided to join us again. We have been tremendously blessed by your comments, by your support, your phone calls. I have thoroughly enjoyed doing this with you all. We are the 3Gen podcast. I'm Pearl.
Miss L.
And I'm Raven.
And we are the
3Gen
podcast. Not quite as good as last time, but that's not
It's okay.
rehearsed. It's authentic, and that is who we are. Just authentic, and we want to bring it to you how we see it and how we feel it. We do have some disclaimers. These are all our opinions.
Please know that.
It's not based off any affiliations, associations. This is just Miss L and her children. So blame it on Miss L. This is what she taught us and how she taught us.
Exactly.
Beyonce and the children. Honey.
Okay. Yes. But how are you ladies feeling?
I'm good.
I'm good. I can't wait for the hot topics and get into it.
Well, you want to get into it? Because I have a hot one. And
Well,
I really
hey,
just
hey.
came up with this kind of
I was
on
just
our
about
way
to say,
here.
This is
Let it smoke. Let's
preview.
go.
We
This is hot
literally
off the
just
press.
yeah.
Just as
Let
I
it-
was
let it-
coming.
let it go. Let
so
it
you
rip.
are
Changing,
getting
I read it.
authentic hot topic today.
Yes.
Let it rip.
So first I want to give my condolences and say rest in peace. May your soul forever rest in the bosom of Jesus. To Angie Stone.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Very
the
sad.
first time I saw Angie Stone live, it was at Essence, and it's when she first premiered her song, Black Brother. And it was
Oh.
like, wow, epic. It was just a vibe. And I've loved her ever since. I thought she had a remarkable talent and voice. We saw her a few years back at our sororities regional conference. She came out and performed. But I love
Really good.
Angie Stone. Rest in peace. But what I want to talk about today, not really a but in regards to Angie Stone, Tyler Perry made a speech at Angie Stone's
At
funeral.
the funeral, yes.
And he was just saying how we should take care of our own and take care of God's children and do right by each other. And he felt
we're
that
alive.
while we're alive, because he felt that she was fighting for her royalties and fighting for
rights.
unpaid money and fighting for equality in the music industry and entertainment industry, and how we just got to do better by each other. But lo and behold, today, I pick up social media and here go Monique ass. This lady gone, the man giving his condolences, his heartfelt support to her and her family and her kids, which he has done when Whitney died. He flew her body out. It's like he kind of steps up to try to be a support system for the family. She's saying that
Monique the comedian now.
Yeah, Monique the comedian who's got a problem always, oh, woe is me. Now she's saying that the man is talking about treating God's children right, but he owe her an apology. Her and her husband, mind you. The man ain't never done no business with her husband either. But
Yes, he has.
I guess if you do business with her, you
do
do
business
business
with her
whatever. But he
man.
ain't hired a husband, he hired her. And he paid her. She ain't never said the man ain't paid her. But now you're saying that he owe you an apology. And he up talking at somebody's funeral and ain't apologized to you. When does it stop? Why is she always the victim and everybody? When does it stop? I think she is so talented, and I loved her in her comedian light. But girl, come on, sit down.
Let it go. But she can't.
Yeah, I think it's so easy to say let it go when it hasn't happened to you. I don't think that she's playing victim. I
see.
truly believe.
With everybody and everything,
Well, it's
every
like-
instance.
It's only two people.
It's
No,
like you
it's
come
been
to my mama's
everybody.
funeral and I'm slobbing and you call her mama. It's my mama funeral. It's not your mama.
Sit
Come
down.
on, sit down somewhere. Let me have a moment. Let Angie Stone and her kids have a moment. Call Tyler. You got something to say to
She
him.
don't do that.
You know, call her.
And my thing is, if the man, you feel the man owe you an apology and he ain't apologized by now, why you still want it? What part of you need that type of validation, that type of affirmation? Why you still want it? Apparently, if he ain't done it by now, he don't feel like he owe your ass now.
And he's not gonna do it.
The apology not for him, it's for you. Why you still want it?
Right.
She needs it.
Why?
Really?
And then it's something she penning a letter from her and her husband.
Why?
I think it's something about that husband part that is true.
It does.
What is it?
He's calling shots and they haven't
And the reason her ass ain't working.
you know.
They're a team. They're a unit. They are
Okay.
one.
No, they don't hire you like that.
Well, he's her manager, so
Well,
They do hire them like
he's a
that.
bad man. He should have got that straight day one.
The man paid you. He don't owe you an apology. He paid you
Yeah.
well, it
to
wasn't
do a
matter.
job.
Her issue with Tyler Perry, I don't think it was a matter of money. She
It
said that he
was.
blackballed her afterwards. So even though you paid me,
Everybody has
now I
blackballed
can't
her.
work.
She said Lee Daniels black Paul. She don't like
Yeah.
Oprah. She don't like Cat Williams.
Everybody.
She don't like nobody.
And
She
every
got a problem with
opportunity you
everybody
get,
she's
every
ever worked
opportunity
with.
you
It's
get,
always an
you're-
issue.
Yeah, you step on everybody every opportunity.
And
I really
love
like
her as a
I like
comedian.
her. I
Girl,
do too.
girl, come on. Let
You know,
the
Yeah,
lady
they-
rest in peace.
So y'all think she shines? Well, she takes.
Everybody moment is
Yeah.
all of a sudden she come up with her shit. Let it go. I mean,
Take
just
advantage.
over it.
I understand where you all are coming from. This definitely wasn't the time for that. I do think it's very insensitive, being that the funeral just happened, the family is still grieving, into her friends, peers, everybody's still grieving. For you to say, "Well, what about me?" or "I need an apology,"
Woe is
or
me.
me.
But I do feel that there is some. I think that Tyler Perry, whatever she's claiming that he did, I believe it because she won't
Lee
let
Daniels,
it go.
Tyler Perry, Oprah.
But she
But
just
okay,
won't
you
let
put it out
go.
there. You put it on blast, whatever it is. You said that he said that, okay, he will apologize. How many years ago that been? The man still ain't apologized. So just don't deal with Tyler Perry. If that was me, I don't deal with Tyler Perry.
Well,
period.
I don't think that she does deal with him.
Okay,
but
I won't bring your name up.
No,
don't bring mine
because
up.
I can't see how it can be triggering for someone who has done you wrong to get up
And speak at somebody's funeral.
Not speak at someone's funeral, but just be publicized as such a great person when you know their true character.
But no, just because I wrong, just because me and you fell out, that don't mean what I do for other people is not genuine, or what I do for other people makes me a bad person.
I think what triggered this is just me talking now. I don't know Monique. But I feel like what may have triggered her is what he said in specific. Treat people while they're alive good. The industry this, the industry that, and she's a part of the industry, and you didn't treat me right.
But you one
So
person.
you're
Look how many
hypocritical.
people he has done well to. You and
she's
I
not
had a
gonna stop.
disagreement.
She's not gonna stop.
You and I don't get on. We don't see eye to eye, and you're not gonna see eye to eye with everybody else. You and I are not equally yoked. Period. We not gonna get on the same page. Let it go, girl.
Yeah.
Why are you continue to tarnish your brand every time you bring it up about somebody wronged you, about somebody this, about somebody that?
Well, what I will say is I don't think you can tell people when to let something traumatic for them go. But I do believe it's a time and a place for everything. And I think that was insensitive of her to post this, knowing that, the funeral was just like 2 days ago.
If somebody owe you an apology,
Right.
how long you want it?
At
what
does
point?
it mean?
At
Some
what
people
point is it
die
not
needing
genuine?
that.
But at what point is it not genuine?
What is it gonna mean
At
to you?
what point, if I say I'm sorry and I've been told you that?
But
then you're gonna say it's not genuine.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, but why he ain't apologized
Why
in
he
public?
wait so long?
Why he
you know?
wrote me a letter? Why he called my mama? Why he ain't called my husband and apologized? He just apologized to me, girl. Oh, it just never stops. It's a trigger for me. These people are needing all this extra affirmation. Girl, okay, if you owe me an apology, I don't get it, keep it.
But that's you. For some people, they need that.
What she need it for?
I can't tell you because I'm not one of those people. But I have an understanding that, if she keeps bringing it up It's been years.
But I don't think she needed to bring it up. I think she bring it back up just for attention or just because you're
Yeah.
right.
I don't think Monique
It
needs
is
attention.
mental. You're right.
Yeah.
She got to be damn crazy. Something. It's mental.
Well, all right then.
All right.
Yeah, my bad. Trigger. Sorry.
Clearly. But no, for sure. Rest in peace to Angie Stone.
Absolutely.
An amazing
A legend.
artist, a legend.
Powerful voice.
Very
Yeah.
much so. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our topic today,
Another touchy one.
another very touchy subject, and another, condolences that we regret to have to give. But I think that we all feel there's something that needs to be addressed. It's something that we shouldn't shy over or kind of skate by without talking about. And especially, just being that we are a part of the D9 family and Greek organization. So we want to talk about Caleb Wilson.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
God bless his young soul. It's
Yeah.
a very unfortunate incident, something that should not ever happen.
Ever happen.
Ever. I can imagine how his parents feel. I can imagine getting that phone call. Just had such a bright future from what I've read. Seems like a charismatic kid. Just rest in peace. God bless his soul.
Yes. for
Okay,
sure.
does everybody know what D9 mean? Divine 9 mean?
Well, no.
Okay. The Divine 9 is a council consisting of 9 historical African American colleges that got started in 1908, which I'm not totally familiar with. The
So let's
Greek
back up.
thing,
Yeah,
so-
yeah, yeah. Let's back up. It's not
let's back up.
1908.
It's 1906 was the first one.
1908.
It was the best one.
Yeah, I was just about to say it was
Hey,
the
that
legendary.
was a good year.
You know,
That was
it
a good year.
Very good year.
That was a good year. But
Ethel stepped up.
yeah,
But,
06 is when it actually started. It is a group of Greek organizations from African American colleges, from historically black colleges.
Exactly.
9 Greek organizations. Yeah.
So the purpose of it was so that students can engage and find themselves in the college camaraderie and atmosphere.
So I've heard it described in a lot of ways. And a dear friend, mentor, somebody I really look up to, described it to me just this past year that D9 and Greek organizations were African Americans' country clubs.
Well,
It
it
was
was,
all
but it
that
wasn't
too.
originally started for that purpose because
But
it
it-
had to get
It
started. And then
represented
that's what
that you were educated.
and it still is for
Because
some
you
people.
had to go to college in order to join a Greek organization. So it represented that you were educated. So meaning that you're trainable, meaning that, you wanted to grow and grow.
The influence, yeah.
Yes, influence. But most of them started in the spirit of fellowship, scholarship, service, sisterhood, and
And
brotherhood.
brotherhood. Yeah.
Merit and honor is on everybody's shield, but it started just really with the idea of scholarship to uplift each other, to build brotherhoods and sisterhoods, and to create opportunities in
Service
service
opportunities,
for the community, to create
So-
like-minded people to give back.
So what happened? I mean,
I think
And
it's
that's-
still that.
have you read the creed? I mean, before you pledged, did you read the creed?
Yes.
You
Yes.
did.
Yes.
We
Did
had to
you?
read it out loud.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, before we
So
crossed
We
over.
had
So-
to
Because I
memorize
see
it.
some people denouncing it and whatever. I'm not fully on top of this, so you all gonna have to help me with it.
So I don't think anybody goes into it thinking that they're going to get hurt mentally or physically. I don't think nobody signed up to get hurt.
But do you have to get hurt?
No,
I mean,
you don't. Absolutely
don't.
not. It's
And
unnecessary.
it's actually in the bylaws and in the policy that hazing is a no.
that's
know
what I'm
this.
looking for. The word hazing.
Yes.
You know, where does that part come
It's
in?
unfortunate because you deal with people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the people have different mindsets, different level of maturities, and different people think that you should have to pay different prices to be a part of an organization that they want to consider theirs. But actually, those people are a disgrace to whatever said organization because that is not what the founders intended for it to be. And that is definitely not anyone with any type of investment stakeholders that are financial and pay into the organizations and are active in community service and trying to help others in the community and trying to help young people in scholarships and engage them. That's not what it is about.
That's not what
And it's very disappointed to see that happens over and over and over again. And it's shining light on it because now it has happened recently, but it's not the first time that it's happened.
Not the first time.
It continuously happens.
All the time.
But it also happens to people get hurt extremely bad, and even though they don't die, those stories never come out. I remember when you were in college, Raven, this guy got it with the ICU for 2 or 3 weeks. My son is in college now. He was like, when they came out, one was on crutches, one had a broken nose. That's nonsense. Nothing is worth that.
I mean,
nothing is worth it.
Is it to prove the manhood, to show that you can withstand?
It's for kicks and damn giggles.
And I want to disperse, that the stereotype that only happens to men, this happens to women as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It happens in sororities too.
I've heard some horrible things about things can go on.
And I tell people all the time, anything that you want to be a part of that has to degrade you, that has to hurt you, or has to take you out of yourself, you don't want to be a part of that. You shouldn't want to be a part of it. I don't care how popular it is. I don't care what you think it is. Or either you can be a part of it and make them hold true to what it's supposed to be. Speak up, talk, say something, report it. Regardless of what it seems like it is to you on the other end or how it seems like you're blackballed, report it. Speak up, because that's not what is rooted in and what it's supposed to be. And it's disheartening to see it all shape out to be that. And it happens, and we're talking about just the D9, but this happens in all organizations. They have basketball fraternities, band fraternities, music fraternities. There are Greek fraternities that are of all denominations that it happens in. To be a part of an organization should never cost you your manhood, your morals, and definitely not your life. It just should not cost that at no cost. It should not.
So I'm thinking that it depends on where you are, that maybe certain Greek organizations are more popular and you don't read the bylaws, or you don't care what the bylaws are. You just need to be a part of that fraternity. Because I just can't imagine, if you know these things, you're getting tormented to be a part of an organization. I don't get that.
But it's all in mindset.
It's mindset. And sometimes people go into it thinking that this is what they have to do because
they're going to withstand it.
Exactly.
They're going to weather the storm.
Weather it. Not knowing that these are freak accidents, if we really want to be honest, and it can happen to anyone. One hit, one blow,
everybody in that line got punched in the chest.
Exactly.
One person died.
Anyone.
It's a freak accident. And it wasn't a hit with the intention to kill nobody. Yeah. But it was still unnecessary.
Is that part of it? I mean,
no, it's not.
It shouldn't be.
Did they say we got to hit you? You know,
it shouldn't be. So but I think most people go into it knowing, undergrad and maybe graduate in some fraternities and maybe not in all, but I think you go into it knowing what you're anticipating, what you're going to deal with. But I think that the mindset has to change, that if that's what it is, I don't want it.
You don't want to be a part of that.
And I don't think you go into it like typically knowing that that's a part of it.
Not to that degree, but
not to that degree. I mean, because it doesn't always have to be physical.
Yeah, it can be mental hazing too. Yeah,
it's a lot of mental hazing, and sometimes that can even be more damaging than physical. A lot of people I know, a story that just happened probably like a couple years ago. The girl didn't get, it was a sorority, and she made line, crossed and everything. A couple of weeks later, she committed suicide.
Yeah.
So it's not always physical. It can be mental as well.
Well, the little girl Zoe, I think her name was, when she pledged, then she denounced it because she got into religion. But she publicly denounced it, which I don't feel that was right, because if you secretly go into it, you didn't publicly announce that you was going in, you should secretly come out. I don't think you need to just parade it because you found Jesus. Because, I mean, and she said she didn't know. That's why I asked, do you read the bylaws? Are you familiar with, there are 9 sororities, 9 frats or whatever. and each one of them has different gods. Each one of
No.
them.
Ain't but one God.
Let's not say that.
That's not
now.
true. That's not
true.
factual
That's not
information.
Straighten me, because when
I'm
you look
straightening
at
you.
when
That's
you look
not
at those
factual.
embers, it's nine Greek organizations, and
It's
like
9 Greek
EPO,
organizations that come from historically black colleges, but
Not
there's
black
several
college,
Greek
but-
letters, and there's some white Greek organizations.
That's
There's some
right,
black
that's
Greek
right,
organizations,
that's right.
but none of them, the ones that I know, don't have a god.
No.
It's one God.
It's nothing to worship.
It has
it's
nothing
not
to
a
worship.
cult,
It's not a
nothing of
cult.
that
It's
sort.
none of that. That's misinformation. Now, these people that are choosing to denounce, that's their personal choice, and I don't have a problem whether they do it publicly or secretly. That's between them and their God. And if they feel like that they put that organization as an idol, they
Then you
should
should
denounce.
denounce.
But don't nothing come
should.
before my
Well,
God.
and
I'm
that's-
not idolizing, worshiping, praising, bowing down to nothing and nobody.
All right.
But that's a personal.
But that's personal.
Personal choice.
But that's what most of them
And you know what else
denounce
it is? You got to be whole when you go into these
Yes.
organizations and when you decide that you're going to join these different things. It's when you come in looking for the organization to
And
bring something to
validation.
you and validate you. You got to go in bringing something to the organization. The organization don't make me better. I make my organization better because of my presence, because of what I bring to the table.
Okay.
And nothing comes before my God.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, if I want to be in my church on Sunday, I ain't doing that this Sunday because I'm going where I go.
And different organizations, although we are a whole nationally, it's different chapters. And
Yes.
some chapters may bring about some foolishness. If that is the case,
The foolishness come from the
leaders
leadership,
in the chat, yes,
the
leadership.
mindset of the people and the members.
So I don't think that should fall on the organization, but they do have to take accountability
of course,
for leadership, and then also just for induction. If I was getting inducted into the organization and anyone was to say you can't worship your God, you got to worship this God, do you
y'all
know
can
how
have
fast
this.
I would say no?
Y'all can have this.
And I'm not a victim blamer. I don't want to blame anyone for being hazed, for going through the process. But I do agree with what you said, Mom. You just have to have validation and advocate for yourself. And if you see something going wrong, step out of it. Don't just continue on with the process because you feel this is something you need. You can get it in other ways. It doesn't have to be then. It doesn't have to be with that organization. Don't risk your life,
For
your
nothing.
mental, your morals for anything.
Yeah.
So why does this happen? I mean,
It's bad apples and everything.
yes, but continuously.
Because it's by people.
Yeah.
People
It's
are
by
flawed.
people, but is there
it's
anyone that's gonna say, "Hey, we gotta stop this. This shouldn't happen"? I mean, it's got to be somebody. I mean, come on.
I think
If
it's
you
a
look
million somebody's, but they stop it. You suspend the chapter. You take down this. You take down that. It's that there's been a million somebody's. It's not the first time it's been happening. It's been happening since the beginning of time. It's
Yeah.
pranks that's gone too far. It's jokes of shit that's gone
drinking, too much
drinking is exactly. It happens, and it doesn't just happen to black organizations,
No,
white
no.
organizations. It happens.
And it doesn't just
It's-
happen
and
in
it's not Greek,
organizations.
yeah.
It's bad apples and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear about churches going in the wrong direction. Does that mean you can't go to church no more?
Right.
No, you have to find where
And
you
everything.
belong.
That's just like even in school, they haze the freshmen.
Exactly.
They're not part of an organization, but that's just that's fresh meat. They try to haze and you.
It's
We've
not
got to
right.
get off this mentality of I'm here and you're there, so you've got to pay homage to me. No
Right.
one owes you homage.
And also the mentality of I went through it.
Yeah, so you got to
have
go through it. Yeah,
Because
and
a
paper
lot of
made
times-
and please.
A lot of times people don't even want to do it. They feel it's wrong, but I had to go through that process, or this is something that I believe. And a lot of times people put up with it because they're being told that it's the mindset. Sometimes it could be legacy. Oh, my daddy told me, or my mama told me that this is what it takes to be in. So they feel as though they have to go through
And
it
hurt
as well.
people hurt people.
Exactly.
These are broken people that come back to show their manhood or their womanhood, or they can't run nothing the way ever they are at home, and they missing this and they missing that, and they come back and take it out on the innocent. They take it out
Yeah.
on people who they feel are at a disadvantage because they want something that they have.
want it so bad.
Yeah. Hurt
mean,
people
even-
hurt people.
Even in the most recent situation with Caleb Wilson, a lot of the people who are now getting arrested for it, they were grads.
Yeah.
They came back to do this. They were not in school.
So do you think they should be arrested?
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think the accountability has to be had. Give them the highest penalty. They took this young man's life. They could not that they could have called because it could have easily happened to any of us. But I can't imagine receiving that phone call.
Yeah.
I could not imagine.
And I think more so than anything, it's not even the matter of them. It is the matter of them taking his life, but it's the matter of instead of trying to get him help, like a true brotherhood, they tried to cover it up.
Yeah,
That's
And
the
they
part
panicked.
right.
They
panicked.
panicked.
Yeah.
They knew like
So you
all of a
talk about
sudden
brotherhood.
in
Come
an instant
on.
this thing went left.
Yeah.
They
And
didn't
I,
know
and I
he's
understand being
seasoned.
frightened by that.
They
But go and
panicked.
get help. Don't try to cover it up. Take accountability for your actions.
Then get a story together and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
No,
Change his
everybody
clothes
involved, not
and-
just them three. Everybody,
Yeah.
and not just the one that passed. Everybody hit a lick on anybody deserves something. And I
I
truly
would
believe
even
that.
go as far, and I hate to say it because, like I said, I don't like the victim blame. But even the pledges, I feel everybody who was there needs to
The
be held
pledges were
responsible.
all victims because everybody they were all victims.
But you have to know when enough is enough.
Yeah, you gotta.
And you have to step out. If you see something
So
going
saying,
wrong,
is anyone gonna speak up?
yeah,
So yeah, you have to. But everybody don't have that type of courage. Everybody, some people are timid. Some people have different personalities. Some people are scared. Some people, and people join things for different reasons.
For different reasons. I understand that.
People have different needs, different desires. Some people are only children, want sisterhood or brotherhood. Some people don't have family, and it seems like from the outside looking in, they seem to be so close. They seem like people join things for different reasons. And if I have to be honest, this year, my son wanted to join a Greek organization.
he did.
And I had a conversation prior to him submitting his stuff and everything with one of our pastors at the church. And he even was like, undergrad, I don't know. He was like, and I even with my son, he wants to do it. And his son is at the school where this happened. And he was like, even with my son, he wants to do it, but he was like, I don't know. That's he was like, it just the thought process, the mindset, and the maturity right now is just not what it should be and intended to be. And I had to pray about that thing. And I don't know if I was praying that he didn't get accepted or he did get accepted, but I was like, Lord, that what he's capable of, what is his
What he can
reasoning for
handle.
wanting to do this, what is he, and I had that conversation with him. That you can't want this at all costs, at all expense, and
Right.
because your friends doing it.
Because your
And
friends.
what's your why? And you got to know your worth. And I ain't gonna say fortunately or unfortunately, he didn't make line, but it wasn't his time. God knew that he wasn't ready, and he didn't need to be in that situation.
And
But,
I think that it can also just be and a lot of people don't want to categorize it as this, but going through the struggle and kind of being torn down to be brought back up and then
What's that
calling
all
that,
about?
yeah, I hate that. And it really is trauma bonding.
right, and why
You
you
wanna
gotta
bond
break
with
me
me
all the
through
way down
trauma?
to nothing?
I just
To
don't
build me back up.
understand that.
And when all of a sudden basketball became a fraternity, in order to do anything, you got to go through this hazing and pledging
Hazing,
process to be
yeah.
a part of the band.
Well,
The
let's-
dance team got one. Come
Well,
on.
let's talk about if this is just a part of our culture and society, because once you get out of school, it don't stop. Then you got, I'm not gonna call no organization names, but if you want your child to be involved in this, they gotta go through this, or you gotta go through this to be a part of this organization to even make it to this point. It's just,
So I
it's
think
like-
we call it different things.
it's elitism, and that's
we,
hazing as well. You don't let people into certain circles because you don't feel they're good enough. That's hazing.
I wouldn't call it hazing. I think it's association by affiliation.
Affiliation.
I think some of it is nepotism, what we talked about on a previous episode. I think it's you wanting to belong. Because to me, I don't want to be necessarily be a part of anything with people that are not like-minded with me, or people that I feel like I got to prove myself to, or people that I got to be vetted for or associated with. Who are you?
But having to come out of college into this elitism, you can't tell a story that letters don't help you. They help you.
I think they help,
They can
but
help or hurt you.
They
Yeah,
can,
one or
but
the
I
other.
think that's why a lot of people also go through the process. They feel as though this is a validation. Lately, I feel as though I don't know how to say it. The service has turned into status. it's more so of I need this status in order for me to make it in society. And I think that's why a lot of people feel I have to go through with this.
No, I
I'm telling
disagree
you
with
from
that.
my end, especially from my age group. I know a lot of people who they get the letters and of course they do the service and everything, but they're looking at the bigger picture. Oh, so and so is a part of this department. She's just or that they it's almost as if the status brings it all in.
Now, I'm going to say once again, I'm not totally familiar with this, but do you all have any, does any of the Greek sororities and fraternities, do they have any schools or anything on a national level? I know you all do a lot of service. I know you go to Goulet, Boule, or whatever you call it. But, you know,
What do you mean by schools? Like universities?
universities too. Where, you know, are you given to a higher
Yes, they
cause?
absolutely give the higher
Yeah.
causes and to higher education, to foreign countries. It is really about service.
That's
It's
the
about
main
service.
thing.
And that's what I
And
thought
it
it would
is
be.
about having a network and a connection. And you got to think that sororities and fraternities became because like-minded people needed a safe place to go and pitch their ideas, to have a network, to have a connection, to have a brotherhood, to have a sisterhood, to be able to go from town to town, city to city, place to place, to be able to have
That
a
camaraderie,
camaraderie and a
And it is
like-minded
true,
person.
and that still stands today.
And it stands
And
today.
I
that's
go out
good.
the country and I see some of my sisters.
And
I'm
that's
like,
good.
okay, we have a network everywhere.
Yes.
And that's good.
That's how it should be.
Mhm.
And I think that you have to utilize that network, but don't just live for that network.
Like I said again, you have to know who you are, and the organization or whatever it is, the affiliation, the organization can't make you. You have to bring something to it. And it doesn't define you. If it offers you some favor, then okay, your association gave you that favor.
Right,
I'm
right,
appreciative
right,
of
right.
that. Thank you. When I see one of my sorors and they win it, it makes me
Me
proud.
happy,
It's like, oh,
yeah.
that's what we do. You know? When I see one and unfortunately some things like this happen, I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
Because
It's
that's
sad
not what we do.
And that's
You know,
not the
and it's sad to
representation
me.
that we
Exactly. When you see one looking inappropriate or doing inappropriate things and they have your letters on, that's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're
So-
not supposed to do that. It's
Yeah.
also in our bylaws.
Yeah.
Even when you're wearing letters, you're not supposed to
But-
drink, be in pictures with drinks, any of that. We don't
But
want to
all
represent
of these
any of that.
organizations are made of people, and people are flawed.
Right. And we
And you know, we're
Yeah.
flawed, and it just is what it is. People are flawed, but the origin of the organizations came from a good place. The
Most
things that
definitely.
they do now, and if you go on any of our websites or any of their websites and you see the initiatives that they're doing, the money that they're investing, the people that they're growing, the scholars that they support, the people that are members of those organizations that have succeeded and done great things globally,
Globally, yeah.
it makes you proud to be a part. But it takes one incident like this to make you say, it's not worth anybody's life.
It's
I would give
not.
all of that up for this man to be alive today.
He's a young man, you know.
Him and everyone else that's been
Yeah,
hurt by
that's been
this.
hurt
I would
by
give
it.
all of that up.
Mhm.
Even the ones that are living that are dead internally because someone has
And they
torn
have
them
to be
down.
torn.
Because everybody
Yeah.
you tear down ain't gonna be able to come
Come
back
back
up.
up. They can't build
They
themselves
can't
up.
come back up. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And that's very true.
And it changes the trajectory of these people's lives forever. I know people
Tremendously.
that pledged years ago and 60 and 70 now, and they still have not recovered from what they experienced back in college.
Right.
Yeah.
Their manhood. It changes the trajectory of how they do relationship, how they do people, how they work, what you think, what you do. It's
Well, what do you think can be our just allegiance to making sure that this doesn't happen, or that I know we can't make sure it doesn't happen because it is underground. This is not anything that the organization promotes. This is all underground pledging. But it's kind of putting me in the mind of just everyone keep quiet about it. because we don't say anything. It's kind of just brushed over.
I think
like
people
you
are
said,
saying more now
A
than
lot of
I've
people
than
are
I've
but
upset
heard
I'm,
say.
about it.
but
A
I'm
lot
not
of
talking
people are upset about
I'm
it.
not talking about after the fact. Like, okay, for me personally, like you said, the young man who I went to school with, this happened to him. I went to the hospital to see him. I know him personally still. And he still reps his letters, everything. It was never discussed once he got to the hospital. The line didn't even drop. So where's our due diligence to say this is not right? I mean, when do we say enough is enough? But we keep it quiet. It's just like, well, he made it, so.
You said it at the time, enough is not enough. Oh, you said it at the time, he shouldn't do this, he shouldn't that. Because I remember you calling me every day upset about it. But you were telling me.
Exactly. So I'm saying in general, if it's people now, if you can talk to someone right now who knows someone, I mean, because if I say something, I'm getting the whole line dropped off, and this is not even something that I'm going through. But what do we as a people, how can we step up to make sure that, I mean, it's wrong. What's wrong is wrong.
What's wrong is wrong.
But even after the fact, it's just never discussed again. It's just like, well, that's brushed under the rug. And I know so many times when it has been just brushed under the rug.
Most of the time, majority of the times, it happens every day.
Yeah.
It happens every day, every year. It happens
every time you
every
play it.
day.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. And it starts off with being funny. Start off with little incidents of innocence. It starts off with, but people, again, I recently wrote a letter for a young lady who's trying to get into our organization on letter of support. But we had a conversation before I wrote this letter.
Yeah.
We had to have a whole conversation. This is what is what is it, But where are you going? What do you want? Why do you want this?
Right.
And what you should be willing to do and should not be willing to do to get it.
Yeah. And I think that's really where it's going to have to start. I don't think it's going to stop, but I think that the pledgees are going to have to just say, it's not, I don't want it.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing it. And don't take it.
Yeah.
They're going to have to stop it. Because if not, and if you're willing to go through the process because you feel as though this is something that you have to do, it's just going to continue. Yeah, and it can happen it can go wrong at any time. And it's not worth your life.